Sometimes, no matter how much you love dolls, you just don't have any shelf space left. But what if there was an art doll you could hang up with no need for shelf space at all? This week, I'm making a little hanging beaded cloth art doll in blues, purples and silvery greys. If you just found me, welcome. My name's Jo. I'm a full-time doll artist based on a narrowboat in Wales. One of the nice things about making beady dolls is that I only need to sew and stuff a head and body. There's no bead jointing to do, so they come together quite quickly. I'm fixing the head to the body with a button joint. I start with a button on the back of the body, then pass the thread up to the top of the neck. There will be a second button to anchor the neck joint on top of the head, so I'm going to use that button to fit a hanging ribbon. I've got some gorgeous blue brocade ribbon for the hanger, with little silver hearts on it. Once I've got the hanging ribbon pinned in place, I pass the jointing thread up through the head and through the ribbon. I anchor it with the button, then it goes right back down through the neck to the first button on the back. This creates a strong neck joint with a little bit of movement. I'll find something to hide that button on the back later. First, I want to make a start on the face. I'm shading the eye area with ChromaFlow pencils. First, I spend a bit of time getting the shape and position right. I want to create a dark shadow that fades out evenly around the button eyes. Once I'm happy with the shape, I build up layers of blue and black, blending in between coats with the Derwent blending pencil. The shading will need a couple of coats of fixative spray, so while that dries, I'll bead the arms and legs. I found these lovely iridescent purple glass beads in a local craft shop. I already had some similar drop beads in my stash and they turned out to be a pretty good match, so these will form the arms and legs. I like to use beads that have a bit of weight to them so the doll hangs nicely. Glass beads work well, they also look really pretty with the light shining through them. I also like gemstone beads when I can find them. I use Gutterman top stitch thread for all the beading. I keep threading the glass beads until the doll measures almost 7 inches from the top of the head. Then I add a metal bead for contrast and finish with a glass drop bead. These drop beads are drilled through the top, so I thread through the hole, then back up through the rest of the beads. I'll fasten it off with a couple of stitches where they'll be hidden by the clothing. If you're enjoying watching this little one take shape, don't forget to hit that like button and let me know. You can also subscribe if you like so you don't miss the next one. I tend to keep the dress quite simple for beady dolls. I've used a printed fabric for the body, so I don't need to make a bodice. I will need to give her some sort of belt though to hide that button on the back. I've made a little tutu from a couple of layers of silver grey lace. I just gather those up with some top stitch thread, tie it off, then I'll stitch the skirts to the doll so they stay put. Some of the materials I use I plan in advance, but sometimes I just need to try a few options on the doll and see what works best. I was going to use some lace around the waist, but it wasn't quite right, so I opted for the same brocade ribbon I used for the hanger. That should just cover the button on the back. I'll fix that in place with some acid-free tacky glue, then it's onto the face. I've chosen some dark smoky grey buttons for the eyes. I stitch them right through to the back of the head and make sure they're pulled nice and tight so they sit flat to the face. I fasten them off with a few stitches on the back of the head where they'll be hidden by the hair. Now she's starting to develop a bit of personality. I'm going to give her some gothic eyeliner with Derwent Line Maker pens. I love these fine liners. They're waterproof and light fast once dry, and unlike most waterproof fine liners, they don't contain any gelatin, so they're vegan friendly too. Links to the pens and pencils I use will be down in the description. The mouth is a simple line with a little colour on the bottom lip. I'll give that a coat of fixative spray, then I can start on the hair. I've had this acrylic boucle yarn in my stash for quite a while. It's from Signet, but I haven't seen it recently, so I'm not sure if it's still available. This kind of yarn has a lovely silky texture, so it's great for doll hair. It has a few cotton threads running through it, so I'm picking those out first, then I'm going to needle felt it directly to the head. As always, I'm using the Clover pen style felting tool and 3 38 gauge needles. I'm going to give her an updo, so I'm felting the yarn all around the hairline first. I don't want it to be too bulky, so I'm not felting a full head of hair for this one. Once I've filled in all the hairline, I carefully pull out all the loose ends. I'll use some of these bits I pull out to cover the rest of the scalp. I'm just loosely felting some scraps of yarn over the middle section to cover the end of the ribbon and make sure there's no fabric showing through. Then it'll need styling. I could straighten this, but I really like the wavy texture, so I'm leaving it as it is. I arrange the hair around the ribbon, then gather it up and tie it in a high ponytail. I think she just needs a necklace to finish her off. I found some purple glass seed beads and a little butterfly charm. I think that suits her calm, gentle personality. Perfect. I've named this little one Liliana. If you'd like to know how and why I first came up with the idea for beaded dolls, have a look at this video next, and I'll see you next time. Bye!